Now, hear this story. A wealthy man went on a journey that lasted about 3 or 4 months, and when he was returning, getting into his house, his beautiful mansion on this large piece of land with a lot of servants, his servants were so excited to receive him. They were all over the place, saying, "You're welcome, sir, we miss you." And they were all speaking good words. The man really felt honored, respected, loved, and appreciated. It was so beautiful. And then he got into the house, and then his 3 children were watching TV, and he greeted them, "Hi, kids," and then the children just looked at him like this and turned their face, continued watching what they are watching on the TV. And the man, felt so, miserable, And this was the story that the Holy Spirit told me to explain something to me that happened in God's presence. I was in God's presence, and then God said to me, "Son, your worship is the best I ever get." And I said, "My worship? The best? What about the worship of angels and all of the creations of God?" The angels are so consistent. They worship God every minute, every moment, every second, all through, never failing. How come my worship is the best? And then the Holy Spirit told me, he said, "Son, the worship of angels, as good as you think it is still the worship of servants." Why? Because Hebrews in chapter 1 verse 14 says, concerning the angels, he said, "Are they not all ministering spirits sent forth to minister for those that shall be heirs of salvation?" So angels are ministering spirits. To minister means to serve. So they are servant spirits. So their worship is still the worship of servants. The best worship we can ever get is the worship of sons, daughters. So that story shows how that man, even though enjoyed the worship of his servants, was still not happy and fulfilled because he couldn't get the worship of his children. He couldn't get their appreciation. He couldn't get their love. And that day opened my eyes to so much, that my worship is so important to the Father. And that's why I want you to know your worship is the best that God ever gets. As a child of God, your worship is higher than the worship of angels. And that's why you must never let a day end until God has received worship from you. Remember, your worship is the best He ever gets. See you next time on Conversations with God.